Part 1. Whispers Beneath the Cobblestones. The story begins in the heart of Lower Manhattan, in a district once teeming with colonial settlers, merchants, and those who had nowhere else to go. The year was 2023, and historian Daniel Whitmore had dedicated his life to peeling back the layers of New York's forgotten past. His latest project? Unearthing the truth behind the legends of the city's haunted underground, a network of tunnels, abandoned buildings, and buried secrets that time itself had tried to erase. Daniel had always dismissed ghost stories as exaggerations, remnants of folklore meant to entertain tourists. But the deeper he dug, the more uneasy he became. His research led him to the story of the Blackwell Orphanage, an institution from the 1800s known for its cruelty. Located on what is now Roosevelt Island, Blackwell had been a place of horror disguised as charity. Hundreds of children perished there, neglected, abused, and forgotten. And, according to whispers, their spirits never left. Determined to separate fact from fiction, Daniel enlisted the help of his old college friend, Rachel Lynn, a journalist with a knack for investigating the macabre. Together, they obtained special permits to explore the remains of the orphanage, what was left of it. The main structure had long been reduced to ruins, but beneath it lay the true horror, a sealed-off tunnel system. Official records claimed it was used to transport supplies during the orphanage's operation, but Daniel had discovered something chilling. Documents hinted at the tunnels being used for something far more sinister, something the city had worked hard to erase. On the night of their exploration, Daniel and Rachel arrived with flashlights, cameras, and a sense of unease neither could shake. The entrance to the tunnels was hidden behind a crumbling stone wall, barely visible through the overgrown weeds. Breaking through the barrier, they descended into darkness, their footsteps echoing against damp stone walls. The air was thick, almost suffocating. The deeper they went, the more they felt as though they were being watched. Rachel, ever the skeptic, brushed it off as paranoia. But Daniel couldn't ignore the sensation crawling up his spine. It was as if something was waiting for them. Their flashlights flickered, and for a brief moment, Daniel saw movement, a shadow darting just beyond the beam of light. He froze. "Did you see that?" he whispered. Rachel hesitated before shaking her head. "Probably just rats." But her voice wavered. They pressed on, reaching a chamber where the tunnel split into 3 passageways. The air grew colder. A strange, rhythmic tapping sound echoed from the left tunnel, like fingernails against stone. Neither of them wanted to investigate, but they had come too far to turn back now. As they stepped forward, the temperature dropped further. Their breath came out in visible puffs, despite it being the middle of summer. Then, Rachel gasped. "Daniel, look at this." She pointed to the wall. Carved into the stone was a name. Eliza Blackwell. Beneath it, a message, "I am still here." Daniel's heart pounded. Eliza Blackwell, the daughter of the orphanage's founder. According to historical records, she had died under mysterious circumstances at the age of 12. Some claimed she had fallen ill. Others whispered that she had been sacrificed in a ritual meant to seal something away. A sudden crash from behind them sent their nerves into overdrive. They spun around, their flashlights illuminating the tunnel. But there was nothing there, only silence. Then, the whispering began. It started as a low murmur, like voices carried on the wind. But as the sound grew clearer, words formed. "Leave now." Daniel's grip on his flashlight tightened. "We should go," he said, his voice barely above a breath. Rachel nodded. Agreed. They turned back, but the tunnel seemed different. The path they had come from stretched longer than before, the darkness swallowing their way out. Panic clawed at Daniel's throat as they hurried forward. The walls felt closer, as if the tunnel itself was shifting around them. Then, the whispers stopped. Silence, deep and unnerving, settled around them. And in that silence, a child's laughter rang out. It was soft, almost melodic. But something about it was deeply, profoundly wrong. Daniel turned, and his breath caught in his throat. Standing at the edge of their flashlight's reach was a figure, a small girl, dressed in a tattered nightgown, her hair covering her face. "Eliza," Rachel whispered, gripping Daniel's arm. The girl lifted her head. Her eyes, dark, empty voids, locked onto them. Then she smiled, and the tunnel walls began to scream.